Tesla holding up pretty well here with relative strength as the market comes down. SPY trying to bounce off the pivot point. Schlumberger off earnings today, down pretty hard. Decent short. Take a look down here at some swing trades. We switch this over to the daily chart for a minute. TLN. The utility stock up pretty nicely today. A little extended though on the daily. FUTU also bouncing up pretty nicely. CRISPR, you looked at CRISPR? Big move up here this morning. NSC. That's Norfolk Southern Railroad. Railroads are actually a pretty good bellwether of the economy. A lot of times it tells you what kind of shipments people are doing as far as business is concerned. It's up beautifully this morning, with earnings, however, on the 29th, so kind of close. That's Interactive Brokers. Meso with a big move up here. CMA, Schwab on earnings moved up, pulled back a little bit. So just looking through these daily charts. TIG are pretty choppy. This thing is pretty choppy. BTCS, again, capital market, big move up in this thing recently. QuantumScape, beautiful chart, a little extended. And ASPI. Just looking through them. Back to the 5-minute. See what Dell's doing here. It's kind of holding its own. SPY. Again, I got to leave about noon time, 12 o'clock or so for a dentist appointment. I don't know how long I'll be gone. I'll be back this afternoon. Good morning, Syracuse. Good morning. Hey, Heaven. How are you? Just kind of biding my time right now, watching the market. You can see what it's doing here. Pulled back to the pivot point, bounced. Again, nothing here to tell me that the market is bottomed out. And I like Dell. I do like Dell, but again, I got to see it above the 129.27, which it is right now, but only by 12 cents. But I like it. I like it as a swing potential. I like it. I mean, if you look, we're looking at the daily chart on this on Dell. So this is a pretty nice chart. You can see this move up and then a sideways move for a good, fairly long compression, then a nice move up, another fairly long compression right here, and now we're trying to break out. And there's some nice potential to the upside here. It's kind of like URGN, which has been just compressing for two months or something. Again, trying to break above that algo line, above it briefly this morning. We took profits. Now we're just sitting on it, sitting on the rest of it. Still waiting on WDC, but still looks like a pretty good setup. ASTS, which pulled back this morning, but still a nice daily setup. And again, out of Hood was a beautiful trade for us on Hood. Okay. I'm going to go back and revisit the Dell options here, see what I can find. They were too widespread the last time I looked at them. I'm looking at the August 8th, and I was looking at the 125s. They're still 690 by 760. And I can get the 124s for $7 by 780. Get $1 more intrinsic value in there, and they're about the same. So that's what I'm going to probably take. The 124s. All right, so I'm taking Dell. I'm taking the August 18th 124s. Still pretty widespread. Okay, so we're buying the August 8th. Um, 124 calls. The 765 by 795 as it jumps around a little bit here. Gonna put it in at 775. Okay, Dell, see if you can get it for 775. Okay, I'm in Dell. I'd like to see it stay above that 129.27 today. 129.27. And the spreads have been kind of wide on them. They've come in a little bit here now. But still, this is still, now it's 775 by 805. It's going to be tough to get filled at 775. You might have to up pay it a little bit, or you might just wait for a little bit of a pullback in Dell. 775 by 790 right now. So if you have to go to 780, that's fine. Now the spread's 705 by 780. Leave it at 775. The spreads are just crazy on this thing. You'll probably get filled at 775 right now. Midpoint right now is 758, 765, 767, just jumping around. Anyway, I'm in Dell now, long Dell. Right, so we'll see what happens. We got Dell on here. We had some nice profits here this week and today. Nice one in Hood. We're in Dell right now. We're still in WDC, but we've taken half of that off earlier. Quite a bit earlier, not today. It's trying to bounce a little bit right here. We're still in ASTS, which we just pulled back this morning, trying to bounce. Again, I took my profits in Circle. It's crazy stock. Crypto's been kind of crazy this morning. Coin jumped up, it's pulling back down again. I'm still in SBET. I don't know if this is ever going to work. Probably not. Got a 38.40 on that one. I'm still in MP, which is actually up today a little bit. And we took off part of our URGN and we're in the other. We kept half of it. So this is where we are. And again, we just added Dell. Don't want to get too many longs on here. We've made good money. We've still got Hood, which we took profits in today, so we're out of Hood. We're out of half of URGN, and we've added Dell today. Dell algo line 620.24, 11.25. Is it valid? Just get filled at 775. Is wrong. Good job. Took off D-Dog for 10%. Didn't like the pullback on the volume on D-Dog. Yeah, it's a very nice daily setup on D-Dog. Like I said, the only thing I don't like it is it's got green candles on my TC2000, which means it doesn't have dynamic. It doesn't have a breakout of compression, and Dell does. And algo line of 620.24. Let me take a look at this. 620.24. Yeah, that's a valid algo line. It's only got 2 touches, but it's a valid algo line on Dell. But it actually is breaking through it here this morning, and it's only a 2-touch line. It actually did touch it just on Tuesday, last Tuesday. I'm sorry, this Tuesday, but it's broken through it on my chart. I've broken through it. So thanks for pointing that out. Again, I'm looking at the high volume lines here, 129.27. It's above the algo line, at least the way I've got it drawn on here. It's above it. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate it. All right. Syracuse. On AEVA, is it a good entry when it broke yesterday's high? Yeah, I mean, most of the time it did break yesterday's high. It's got resistance at 36.04, about $4 to the upside. But I like AEVA. It's a nice J hook. It's basically pullback and it's bouncing back up. So I still like that. I would wait till it took up the high from the previous lower high. No, I would. I don't think. I think it's fine right here. If you're looking at what the lower high was, the lower high was actually yesterday. But I like AEVA. Earnings on 8.6. July 8th. Yeah, I see that. No, I don't think I wouldn't have to. As long as it's above today's high and it stays above the 8 and the 15, I think you're fine. Milad. Hope we're doing well, Jay. I am. Had a very good morning so far, Milad. Using Dell as an example, what is the reason for deep in the money calls? Is it delta confidence levels? Well, it's not really that complicated. You want to be in the money because think about the way that time decay works. All right, if you've got a stock that expires at a certain date, you've got time decay, which means the value of the premiums are going to go down as the stock moves sideways. But the value of the premium that's going to get stripped out of there is on what's called the extrinsic value. Anything that's in the money on the call sides is not going to suffer from the same time decay because you're in the money on it. Those things are worth whatever the stock happens to be worth. So what you want to do is take something like a 65, 70, 75 delta, so that the biggest portion of your premium is intrinsic value. In other words, it's based on the stock value, which means it's not subject to time decay. That's one of the big mistakes of a lot of traders is they like to buy out of the money calls because they're cheap. They think if the stock goes in my favor, I'm going to make a fortune on this thing because it's cheap, and if it goes into the money, I'm going to make a fortune. The problem is most of those don't work, and the longer you stay in a trade like that, the more time decay comes out. So if you have an in the money call and an out of the money call, and the stock moves sideways, your in the money call is going to go down just a little bit. Your out of the money call is going to get clobbered. So that's why you take in the money calls. And you can take 80s, you can take 75s, you can take 70s. I even take 65 sometimes, but you want to be in the money on them. Why did I pick the 8 expiration for Dell instead of the 8-1? Well, I want to give it a little bit of extra time. And I also, the spreads were pretty good on the 8s. I looked at the 8.15s as well. I just picked what I thought was the best one based on the spread. And I wanted to give myself a little bit of extra time. So that's why I took the 8.8. Wanted to go to an extra week because the stock could pull back. I mean, it's could easily pull back. I want to have some time. Saw J&J good relative strength today. Yeah, got a big green candle a couple days ago on earnings. Moving up today, it's in a nice big void area. And it's a nice setup on J&J. It's a little extended. It got a little extended off of earnings. Right now it's trading at 164.72 with the 8 exponential moving average at 160. So it's only $4 above the 8, and it has a ATR of about 3. So it's about 1.5 ATRs above the 8, but that's not bad. Random. I hope that helped explain why I took that expiration for Dell. It's not really a matter of getting cheap. You want to give it some time. I feel like I need more time on it. I don't know that the market's going to keep on moving up like this every day, putting in all new all-time highs. I think we may get some pulling back in the market, and I want to be in a strong stock. but I want to give it a little bit of time. All right, about 11:30 here. Again, I have to leave about 12 o'clock today. I'll be back later in the afternoon, but I have a dentist appointment. LPLA breakout, Joe. Yep, nice LPA. That's LPL Investments breaking out. Earnings on the 24th, however. Earnings in less than a week. Nice breakout, though. That's a really nice breakout on LPLA. Your grandfather used to say we cannot afford to buy cheap. That goes for options, that's for sure. Please don't be taken out of the money calls. I do them for lotteries on Friday afternoon, expecting a stock to try to get into the money because I can get them cheap and I can make good money on them. But I take small size. But for general trades that you're taking, even if you're going to be taking a day trade, you want to go out at least a week or two on them so that you don't get time decayed to death on the things. But a lot of people, you'll see a lot of sites that advocate taking out of the money calls. They're buying really cheap because they're cheap. And well, if it pays off, you're going to make big money. Well, you will. The problem is it doesn't pay off very often. And I've done it before, and I did a strategy like that for a while, several years ago, more than that, to see how it worked, and it doesn't work. Right? You're not going to make any consistent profits on that. PAA, gap filling, Joe? PAA, gap filling. Yep. PAA. Plains All American. It's pretty much almost filled the gap right now. Nice look. And XLU breaking out. Joe over in Discord pointing out XLU. Yeah, this is a utility sector. Been moving sideways for 3 weeks. It's breaking out today. XLU breaking out. I'm not going to dive into a lot of stuff right now. I'm trading Dell long with the other ones we've already got. I'm not going to add a bunch more. I don't know what the market's going to do. I can't take any intraday trades right now because I got to leave here in a half an hour, so I won't be able to manage them. But there are some decent ones out there, but I can't take any right now. Except I took Dell, and there's a SPY moving up toward the VWAP. Syracuse, what is the ideal distance from the 8 EMA? What distance you wouldn't take the trade? Typically, no, 1 ATR is not bad. Not bad. I think that I'm not going to take anything there's 2 ATRs above it. 1.5. I'll still take it if I like the daily chart setup, and I can take a position size and also take an expiration date out in time that I can withstand any kind of a pullback to the 8. My ideal safe place enter is right off the 8 exponential moving average, of course, but you can't always get that. Dell's at 120, 130.05. Again, 131.06 I have for a resistance level. I got to go back and check that 131.06. That's coming from way back, and I don't know how valid it is, and it's got some nice room above that. So I'm going to keep an eye on it, but I'm not going to exit there. Joe depends on beta. He looks at beta, which is how volatile a stock is, and his risk first, where his thesis is incorrect. he prefers 3 to 4% on many variables. Yeah, listen. It's not a. It's not a. Nothing's black and white in trading. I'm just that's what I use for a guide. BYON is quite a bullish this week. BYON. Yeah, a lot of good stocks this week. And that's an okay stock. There's earnings on the 28th, 10 days. Remember, keep your eye on earnings on these things. If earnings are too soon, you don't really give yourself much time. Dell trading right now at 803. I got filled at 765. It's trading at 803 right now. MP green today, finally trying to break out again. It's still a nice setup with MP. Got a little extended, but it still looks good. And I still have calls in this thing that expire next week. I've got the $57 calls, so I'm about $440 in the money on them. I think I paid $580 for them. They're going for about $515 right now. Again, Dell trading at $795 right now, with pretty big. It had pretty wide spreads on it. Yeah, spreads are only about 30 cents now. Evan, regarding Twillo, if we refer to July 14, 15 on SMA bounce and breakout, is it correct to say that today might be a possible continuation of the bounce on TWLO? Yes. Yep. Bounced back to the 8 and the 15, bounced off of it, moved up yesterday about halfway through the red candle. Today's a breakout. Today's a breakout. Twillo, it's a nice setup on Twillo. Here it is right here that he's talking about. Okay, so here's this pullback, bounced off the 8, went below the 8 and 15, see, right through the 50, then come up through the 50, up through the 8, up through the 15, come back and tested it and bounce. This is what you would like to see. A move, a breakout, a test, and then a bounce again. A very nice setup on Twillo and breaking out. That's a good setup right there on Twillo. I don't have any horizontal lines on here. I need to put some on it to see where the resistance levels is. Obviously, there's resistance right there and resistance right there. And you got a gap fill right here. Pretty big gap. That's on earnings gap, and with a few more candlesticks in the middle here. But Twillo's a nice setup. If I can switch over to the daily chart, there it is. 131.95, then 138.99. Nice look on that one. Heaven, really nice. Nice analysis as well. Got some folks doing some really nice technical analysis. That's good. It takes a little experience to get good at technical analysis and price action. Schwab CEO, retail clients have returned to being bullish. They were all bearish all year, so now they've gone bullish again. Watch out. When the mob thinks everything is big bullish, it's time to be careful. There was a lot of bearish sentiment in the market the last few months, and people were getting, and I've talked about this many times, people were getting crushed trying to go short, and they were not taking trades that they should have taken for long because they were scared about the market, because of all this crap they were reading about how bearish the market was going to be, how many problems there were. I don't listen to that crap. I just look at the price action and see what the price is doing. When the market starts to turn bearish, then I'll turn bearish. Not because somebody thinks it should be bearish. Joe peeled off 25% on D-Dog on partials. Good job. Yeah, they're bullish. Dump it. That's, again, I'm just waiting for price. Retail traders can be correct sometimes. Shai points out the SPY is failing at the VWAP. Yeah, we'll see if we catch it. Again, we're stuck between. We've been in these ranges before, stuck between the VWAP and the pivot point. Q's also doing the same thing. IWM a little weaker. Again, we're long Dell here. Dell still looks pretty good. We're still on WDC, which is moving up nicely, relative strength. Still on ASTS, which is starting to bounce. And still on URGN. Hanging up there, hanging up okay. It's just slightly red for the day, but still. I didn't have any. We had a decently volume day yesterday. It wasn't a huge volume day, but it was the highest volume day we've had in a couple of weeks. But it still wasn't very big. And today's volume is low again. I'm really looking for a breakout in this thing, but it's going to take some volume to do it. And we do have plenty of time. All right, so again, we took Dell, his D-Dog, which still looks good. And Dell looks, I like the setup on Dell. Again, we took our profits in Hood this morning. Could have got some more out of it, but I'm happy with where we took it. You can see it's pulled back since then. And Dell, hanging in there, and SPY right there. Okay, again, I have to leave at 12 o'clock. Around 12 o'clock, I have a dentist appointment this afternoon, and I don't know how long I'll be here, but I'll be back well before the market closes. I better be. I'm planning on doing some lotteries sometime later this afternoon. Dell trading now at 805 by 845. Now, if you're in this Dell and you want to put profits today, uh, I don't think that's a problem, because this is a pretty big green candle today. I think if you want to take profits today and peel it off and then try to re-enter again on Monday, I think that's probably fine. I mean, you could risk having this thing pop way up today, but it's already up 5%. So if it gets through 130, 106 or so, I'll probably peel off some of my calls. I won't take them all off. But if you would just have like one call and you want to take profits of this thing, again, if you get in like at we get in again about 775, you want to get out about 875. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with taking a dollar on this thing for today and then re-enter next week if we get a pullback on it. You're welcome, Heaven. Yeah, listen, trying to understand, learn how to read price action is tough, especially in newsy markets, because price action can be impacted by news, and it's not something that you can look at the price action and say, okay, this is normal. It's not. When you get news hitting the price action, what I always look at when I see the news and it impacts the market really dramatically on a 5-minute candle or 2 5-minute candles, is I back off. I don't even think about those candles. I want to see if it recovers, because typically what you get when you get news moves, which are really not news, they're really speculation moves, rumors. When it moves fast, then I'm typically going to wait. The only thing I ever do on something like that is I do a straddle or a strangle. That way, if it keeps going in the same direction, I do well. If it goes against me, it goes against the move, I do well. But I'm not going to take a position that's directional based on that, because this is algos trading most of this speculation, these rumors, or would be considered news moves. It's algos trading them, and they almost always overreact to these things. So don't get sucked into that. Straddles and strangles, but only if you can only if the premium is at a level where you can justify taking the trade. If it's too expensive, you can't do it. But I reading price action, ignore any kind of news type price action. Then just look at the rest of the price action after that. That's what you want to do. It's very hard to train on doing price action. I think Joe over in the Discord room was going to try to put something together at some point on learning to trade price action, what you look for. One of the things I initially said was, no, one candle, one green, one red candle on a 5-minute chart is not a trend. You can't trust anything like that. You've got to have confirmation, and because a lot of times those reverse. So don't ignore those big red or green candles until they have confirmation that it's going to continue. Usually they'll bounce back if they're short and pull down if they're long. So again, if you want to sell Dell at 875, I'm going to put that out on an alert in case anybody wants to do this. So I'm going to say put a sell order in there for some of them at 875. If you've only got one, you can either sell them or not sell them. It's up to your discretion. I'm going to be holding most of mine. I may take some of them off at 875. Coming up in about 8 minutes to 12. I got to leave right about 12 o'clock, as I said. And I'll be back. I'll be gone for probably a couple hours, and then I hopefully be back early this afternoon. I'm hoping to do some lotteries today, so we'll see. Q's moving up through the VWAP. SPY right at the VWAP. Dell moving up here beautifully. It's trading at midpoint 825 right now in Dell. 795 by 855. They've spread these bid-ask spreads out again. 805, 810 by 855. Again, I have an order in to sell. Some of mine is 775, but I'm keeping most of them. I'm sorry, at 875. I'm going to sell some at 875 and hold the rest. All right, gonna have to cut out here in just a few minutes. Shy D-Dog also woke up through the higher day. Yeah, nice. Yep, it's a good setup, as I said. I like the setup in D-Dog. I like Dell a little bit better, but D-Dog's a nice one as well. I'm not going to take them both. I'm just going to take one. Again, I'm not going to load up on a bunch more longs right now. We've had really good results as the market hits new all-time highs one day after another. We've got enough positions on to take advantage of a continuation to the upside, and we have small enough positions on that we can't get hurt too badly on any kind of a dramatic pull down in the market. So I'm just kind of riding my profits here. We got some decent longs on. We've got URGN after taking profits. We get WDC after taking half profits. ASTS is beautiful, and Dell is nice. And Hood, we took profits this morning. And we took profits in Microsoft. We took profits in AA was a small loser. Took profits in CCJ. Snow was a small loser. Mara was a beautiful winner. CNC was a 50% winner. Microsoft, that was an intraday trade, that worked out nicely. Sarepta was our only loss for last month. We had profits in CRISPR here. Palantir, nice profit in Palantir. Roblox, in case you remember, $3 profit in VRT, then $1 profit in VRT. STZ for a nice profit here. So we've been stacking a lot of wins, and it's sometimes you kind of forget what a nice run we've had here, and or you get complacent thinking that every trade's going to be a winner, and it's not. So I'm trying to temper that enthusiasm you might be getting because we've had some good winners. So just again, right now the market's new all-time high. It's probably going to get a little bit of a rest here for a bit. So we're just kind of cut back a little bit. We still got plenty of longs on here. We're still doing fine, and nobody's trying to make $1 million in a week here. At least I'm not. I'm just trying to grind it out. When you get overly excited about your success, you've got to be really cautious because you end up taking more positions than you should. You take bigger positions than you should. You wait for stocks. You don't take losses because you think it's still going to go back up again. Your whole mindset changes. Try to stay basically emotionally flat. Again, this trading is not like a ride at Six Flags or Disney World or something. You shouldn't be going through the emotions of fear and elation based on your trades. It's a business. You just grind this out. Whoops. I was talking. I didn't have my mic on. What I was saying was, we're in good positions right now. I don't want to have too many longs on because the market has made such a big run up. It's likely to take a rest. We've got enough positions on to take advantage if it continues up, and we've got a small enough number of positions on. If it goes against us, we're not going to get hurt too bad. That's where I want to be. I'm trying to temper our enthusiasm on the good trades we've had here, because you can get carried away when you start having winning trades, thinking that everything's going to be a winner. So you take bigger positions, you take more positions, you stay in them when they go against you because you think they're going to bounce. You start to feel like you're invincible as far as trading is concerned. And believe me, that is the kiss of death when you start to feel like that, because your trading is you're going to mess up your trading. You're not going to stick to your methods. You're not going to stick to your risk profile, etc. It's very important to remember that. Anytime you start taking a lot of wins, think automatically that I gotta be much more conservative here. I don't want to get out over my skis. Okay, 12 o'clock. I'm going to have to get going. I'm going to have to shut down the YouTube feed and head out. I've got a dentist appointment, so I got to roll on out here. Thanks everybody from YouTube for being here today. Appreciate it. We'll be back on Monday. See you then.